G'day everyone. I'm going to actually take you through a number of videos in the coming weeks. My channel's going to change a little bit and I'm going to start putting more instructional videos on about how I've set my A7 and A9 camera up and things like that. So we're going to talk about that, and obviously as the new cameras come out I'll talk about the different settings on that as well. So I thought I'd first start with you today about the first thing I change when I get the camera, and I actually set up Backbutton Focus. Let me just open up this for you and I'll just explain why. Your camera will come standard with this, so when you half press down the shutter button, you will get the focus actually locking in. Now, that's fine, and if you press down one more, you'll actually get the image, so it takes the actual image that you've got there. I don't really like working that way. I prefer to separate the shutter from the focus itself, so I can keep that shutter button held down and then just keep pressing the shutter to get the image to actually take the picture itself. So there's a couple of things that you've got to do to actually get that to work, and I thought I'd show this before I show my custom settings because I've got the buttons set a certain way, so I thought I'd start off with showing you this first. So what I'll do is I'll show you how it's set up. So all you do is you just go into the menu system. Now you go into the camera icon up the top, which is number 1, and then you'll go over to 1614, and down the bottom there you've got AF with shutter, and it's on at the moment. So what you'll do is you just click the middle of your selection wheel and then you turn that off. Now that immediately, if you look at it, has disengaged my focus from there. I can still take a photo, but it's no longer engaging with the focus itself. So all I have to do now is I've got to program the AEL button. Now if we look at this here, I'll just show you what I'm talking about. It's this button here that I use for my back button focus. This will be for IAF, and I'll talk about those shortly, and you'll see how I set my custom settings up in the next video that I actually post. But let's have a look at this. So basically what I have to do, there's another setting I've got to click into to make this work with that AEL button. So I click on the menu at the back, and I'm just going to keep scrolling across until I get to the camera menu, because that's where these custom button settings are, and it's actually here. So it's under the video one, which is the camera number 2 at the top, the purple type color, and it's number 8 of 9, and it's custom keys. Now I've set these all the same. You can change these depending on what you want to use for stills. The top one, stills, that's for video, and that one's for your play menu, but I'm copying basically all of them across. It's just the way I like to work. Everyone will have different things that they like. But the custom key that you change, if I click into here, is on the 3rd setting over here, and at the moment AF on button is set to focus hold. I'm not sure what the default is, but all you've got to do is change that to AF on. Now the advantage then, when you change that to AF on, let me just move this down so you can see that's what I've done. I'll show you again. It's just changed to AF on. Now when I click on it, if I hold the AF on button at the back, it will just track. Now I think I'm on single. Let me go to continuous. If I hold the AF on, I can just move around and it will stay focused, and then obviously I can just press the shutter down any time that I want to actually grab the image itself. I love to separate those two functions away from one another, and it's just the way I love to work. The only thing you've got to remember sometimes is if you are actually using time-lapse, you have to put the shutter button back on, because that's how those time-lapse apps work when you're plugging in an intervalometer. So you have to switch that setting, which we had here, which was number 6, you have to set that back to on if you're using an intervalometer. Apart from that, I find that that's a great setting to change, and it's always one of the first settings that I change in the camera. Like I said, to have that shutter button separated from, or the focus separated from the shutter button by using the AF on at the back of the camera. So that's my first video. The next one I'll post is my custom settings, so stay tuned for that. Bye for now.